All right, let's talk about something that's maybe not the most glamorous part of working with data, but it is absolutely the most important. We're talking about data cleaning. Before you can find those amazing insights, you got to do a little tidying up.
And you really have to ask yourself this, right? Is the data you're looking at telling you the truth, the whole story? Or is it kind of hiding things, burying secrets and all that mess? Because believe me, messy data can lead you way, way off track.
Right. So before we can jump into the really cool parts, building awesome models or creating beautiful charts, we have to face the first big hurdle of any data project, and that is the problem of messy data.
Okay, so take a look at this. At a quick glance, you might think, yeah, that looks fine. But let's look a little closer. See that notebook row? The price and quantity columns are just empty. How are we supposed to figure out our total sales from that? And then check this out at the bottom. That pencils row is an exact copy of the one right above it. That one little mistake, it's going to completely throw off all our numbers.
And honestly, these are the usual suspects you're going to run into. Messy data, 9 times out of 10, comes down to one of 3 things. You've got missing values, like we just saw, you've got duplicates that are messing up your counts, or you've got data in just the wrong format, like, a word where a number should be. So how do we even start to fix this? Well, here's a great way to think about it. Let's just step away from the code for a second and think about something we all do: making dinner.
It really is this simple. Think about it. Cleaning data is just like washing your vegetables before you start cooking. I mean, you'd never just toss a muddy carrot straight into the pot, right? Of course not. You prep your ingredients first so the final dish tastes amazing. Data cleaning is that exact same idea. It's the prep work for getting great results. And the parallels here are kind of perfect, right? In the kitchen, you wash the dirt off your veggies. In your data, that's like fixing formatting errors. When you cut a bruised part off an apple, that's exactly how we handle missing values. And when you realize you've grabbed 2 of the exact same onion, yep, that's just like getting rid of those duplicate rows.
Okay, so let's bring that kitchen analogy back to our keyboard. The good news is you don't need 100 complicated tools for this. In the world of Python, we can do pretty much all of our vegetable washing with a really simple but super powerful little cleaning kit.
And it really comes down to these 3 essential commands. Now, whenever you see df, just think of it as our data table. It's called a data frame. First up, we play detective with df.isnull.sumAndSum. This basically asks our table, hey, are there any empty spots? And then it counts them all up for us. Super useful. Next, we fill in the blanks with df.fillna 0. This one's easy. It just finds those empty cells and pops a 0 in there. And finally, df.dropDuplicates. This does exactly what it sounds like. It scans the whole table and just gets rid of any rows that are perfect copies. So you see the pattern here, right? It's a system. We're not just guessing. We're finding the problems, we're fixing them with the right tool, and we're making sure that every single piece of data we're left with is unique, it's useful, and it's ready for action. Okay, and now for my favorite part, the big reveal. We've talked about the problem, we've got our tools, so let's see the transformation. We're going to take that messy table from the beginning and put our little cleaning kit to work. All right, so here's where we started. Remember this? We've got those missing values for the notebook and that annoying duplicate pencils entry right at the bottom. A bit of a mess. And bam, look at that. Just like that, the duplicate pencil row is gone. The missing price and quantity, they're filled in with zeros. All of a sudden, this table is complete. It's consistent. It's reliable. We can actually calculate our total sales now without getting the wrong answer. That is the magic of those 3 simple commands.
So we did it. We went from a mess to something neat and tidy. But why? Why do we go through all this trouble? Why does clean data matter so much?
Really, it all boils down to one simple idea. The quality of what you get out is totally dependent on the quality of what you put in. If you start with clean, trustworthy data, you're going to get better insights, you're going to build more accurate models, and you're going to make way smarter decisions. And just think about what that actually means. It means your analysis is more accurate because you're not accidentally counting things twice. The predictions your models make become something you can actually trust. The charts and visualizations you create, they tell a clear and, more importantly, a true story. And at the end of the day, the big decisions you make based on all this stuff, they're going to be solid. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Every messy dataset out there is really just a bunch of hidden stories, just waiting for someone to come along and tell them properly. And the only thing standing in the way is a little bit cleanup. So, what stories are hiding in your data?